Hi, everybody. This is Marilyn. Do we have any, yes. I'm looking and looking. Thank you. Hello, everybody. This is Marilyn, and it's time for the noon edition of Welcome to My World. This is the 20th day of October, and today is a Thursday. So, how's everybody doing today? Looks like we've had some nice trades in a few of these places, and people have they're really getting into marking charts and posting them in here. So that is, I mean, believe you me, that is the best, fastest way to learn this stuff. Mark those charts, and you will also learn that getting in the habit of doing that. And even if you have to take off and you come back later and mark your charts in the evening, take screenshots, because that Jing saves that for you in the library. And you can go back when you've got some time, like over the weekend or something, and study all your charts and all your trades. And when you find things that you wish you'd done a little differently, then bring those up on Market Replay and retrade those, because you really do learn, and you get a lot of stuff cemented that way right into your brain. Anyway, the indices have been both directions today, and so that gave some very nice trades earlier this morning right out of the open, and then turned around, what, about 10:30, but really nice directional trend trades. So the chop is great to learn how to do for the days that are real slow, and sometimes using a smaller tick chart on super slow days. But today that would have eaten you alive. So you have to make an assessment of what's really going on. And I love everybody using this VAD. This VAD is really useful. It's a matter of studying it and getting your eye to recognize certain opportunities with it. It's super great. Anyway, crude oil had a nice trend down this morning if you were up in the middle of the night and patient enough. After that, the crude oil was a little tougher to trade today. There were easier trades. The glorious trade that I saw, there were two of them. One was a trend down on gold, and my friend Bonds today delivered the goods. This I'll show you on this is my VAD chart, but this was really nice, because this morning, at a reasonable time of day, right off of the blue ice, and this is a huge magnet here at 6409, 16409. That was a nice 10 tick down, and if you looked at the VAD, it had gone up, but we got a trend catcher down, and boy, once this trend catcher came in and the VAD and the volume started to exceed, it just went right on down. And then I really thought it would just go to settlement, but you had another opportunity if you got out at settlement, took profit, to take this sling or just use the green ice. And VAD started climbing and climbing right here. Even though the market went down, the volume went down, it was right over settlement. And once it comes off of there, it was on its way. So that was super nice, both directions. The VIX this morning is holding right at the 14, little over 14. It's trading 14.21 right now. So it's a good idea to keep an eye on that. The dollar, the U.S. dollar went up this morning. And when you see, I mean, if you don't want to trade gold, and for those of you who like to trade spreads on the Nadex, I know Daryl really likes the gold spreads because the available spreads are close to proximity, and there's usually a penny difference on the bid ask. So with the Apex chart, and you can find those spreads that are really good on crude oil, and they're very close to the indicative is very, very close to the market price. So sometimes that's a little easier, and especially it's a little safer than trading futures in gold. Anyway, this afternoon, after market close, is going to be Microsoft. And that is a very hugely traded stock. So that can move YM and NQ because there's a lot of others. I mean, it's by no means the only one. So if you want to watch and see what Microsoft, what kind of an effect it has on the markets at between 4 and 415, even for educational purposes, that's a really good one. Also, tomorrow morning, before the market opens, GE and McDonald's, and those are both benchmarks in the YM. So you might want to investigate where those things came in. You can also tell quite a bit about how that's going to affect the U.S. market if you just kind of get a fix on the DAX, because these big companies are traded around the world, and the people that watch for those earnings and to see where they come in relative to their forecast and what they have so-called promised their stockholders, their shareholders, can affect a lot of things. It looks to me like some of these currencies, I don't know how many people trade the currencies, but these currencies have been having some very nice trends also in the morning. So let's see. Oh, and the unemployment numbers, the claimed unemployment, came in below expectation. I mean, big surprise. I'm amazed they admitted that. But that's what apparently caused the market to go down a little bit this morning, but then it kind of recovered itself when it decided that the manufacturing was up a little bit. Tomorrow morning, there's a couple people in here that really like to trade the dollar CAD. Tomorrow morning, the Canadian news is coming out at 8:30, and those are significant Canadian numbers. So if you look on the Apex website at the news trade tab, there is a strategy laid out for you if you like to trade that. And then at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning is some European numbers that will affect the euro, but that's the best place. Tomorrow morning, we're not having too much news except these earnings releases on those big companies. So U.S. news tomorrow shouldn't affect too much, but the Canadian dollar, remember that the Canadian dollar is the it's the trading benchmark currency against the crude oil, West Texas crude oil. So those frequently can move pretty much in lockstep. If you like to trade crude oil early in the morning, pay very close attention to what the Canadian dollar is doing. So Um, what else? I know somebody, I love this. Somebody posted in there, we're overthinking the VAD. Boy, is that ever, there's so much of this stuff that it is so easy to try and make a science project of it. And it, I can't tell you how many times I've done that. But if you can reduce all of the trading terms and the mumbo jumbo to what you can understand, it really helps. And I'll tell you something else that really helps when you're trying to learn something like that is to figure out the three little things you're looking for. Like you're looking for on the third set of VAD, how far down it went relative to the previous or the direction. So for instance, right here in crude oil, the VAD went down as far as the previous down push. But when the next up VADs right here could not clear, they could not get an ascending line, then you know right here you're looking for a down because this VAD could not push itself up. But if you can find three or two, even three or four, no more than four, max five, little things that you are looking for to take those entries, it's going to tell you where the entry is. Make a list on a little sticky note, just literally stick it right in front of you until you've got those things. They become automatic, and you can spit those out in your sleep because it takes a lot of the stress off of it, and then you stop talking yourself into and out of trades, which I can also tell you the voice of experience. You really have to have the rules established right in your head. I mean, and the only way is to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. So that has helped me at least. And the other thing is, if I'm sitting there focused on the divergence and the division and the acceleration and I don't care about that. What in the world is that going to do for me? I want to know, is this an up or a down spot? And what does it have to do with the entry? And after that, then I want to know, what does it have to do with keeping me in a trade? Is there a reason that I should get out? Is it telling me some reason that I should get out? And you will start to observe a lot of little stuff that becomes very helpful, because basically what you're doing is training your brain. And that also helps to post those charts in here, because nobody gets helped more than the person that's posting the chart. It's the exercise of drawing those entries and drawing those exits, and then giving the justification, mostly to yourself, why it is you got in where you got in, and why it is you got out where you got out. Because that really helped me to sit there on my charts, and I just imagined that I had to explain this to Daryl and listen to him say, "What? You did what?" And so that will stop you a lot too. If you have to explain that to yourself, and in your head you're listening to Lori tell you, "What in the world were you doing? What were you thinking?" Then you get a lot pickier. It helps. It really, really, really helps to be that picky entry. So anyway, I think we better keep an eye on the VIX, especially from now until about the middle of November. whatever